Hello and welcome to another episode, or the first live episode, where I'll be bringing in a special guest. And I'm sure most of you probably already know who it is, judging by the writing at the bottom of the screen. And obviously, we've been pushing it on social media this week. It is none other than Mr. Elliott Gray. I'll be grabbing him in a minute. But yeah, please do stick around. Obviously, I'll be quizzing Elliott on all things Cypography. We're going to be chatting and running a few clips about the episodes that I've just been featured in and the up and coming episodes. We've got a couple of sneak previews and to chat about that. We'll be bringing you guys in via the chat to win some prizes as always, and most importantly, not to put Elliott down at all, well, I've got a huge announcement at the end of this show, so please do stick around. It's about you guys. It's about you guys. It's something that I'm really excited about, that I've put a lot of hard work into in the background, but I don't want to give anything away. I want to keep it as a surprise. But anyway, let me get the intro in, and I'll get Mr. Elliott Gray in the house after that. Oh, here he is, Elbow. Talk to me. Can you hear me all right, firstly?
I can hear you good. I can hear you good. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, but I'm going to just ask the people in the chat if they can hear us both, because this is our first interactive live, bringing a guest in. Hopefully they can hear us. I'll keep my eyes in the chat. But obviously, just to start us off, we will be taking some questions that we've already got written from social media. I've made a few notes, but obviously we'll be taking questions live in the chat as well. And I've got a few funny, quirky things for you guys to get involved with as well. And you, Elliott, that you don't know about as well. Elliott has had no briefing here. Oh, you expected it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's here. Here we go. The comments coming in, hearing us loud and clear. Blah blah blah. So let's get the let's kick it off, mate. With what you saying on the football today? Happy with that result?
Oh, mate. You know what? I watched it. I only watched till half time. I went out to get the Christmas trees. I've got a new phone, so I left it updating. Came home expecting us to have lost, and we won 2-1. So
Happy days.
we'll
And
take that from me.
is there any reason it's come in the chat here? It's not me pulling out. Is there any reason why you look like a tomato today?
Okay, so I've been in the house doing my Christmas tree. I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll have a nice shower quickly, get myself all freshened up. I cooked dinner, so I stunk of beef stroganoff.
Yeah.
And I've come into my office. I left the heating on yesterday, so it's about 28 degrees in here. And my face has gone really, really red.
Well, it's all right. I've got extra lighting and that in here, so it's working well for me. I thought you'd been on.
I'm literally sweating. I think in a minute I might have to open the door.
I thought we were going to get an exclusive to say that you'd been on the sunbeds or something. But right, I'm going to jump in this chat quick, mate, and ask her, because obviously I've got to give a few people a few shout outs. I should have done this at the start, really, mate, before I brought you in. But yeah, everyone's in the house by the looks of it. There's a lot of heads in here. People are going, Elliott, who? And all that. I'm only joking. Not really. There's a good question coming here from Tups Fishing. He said, Elliott, when can I have my hour of fame on the underwater? Wish that would have happened for clarity. Right. So this is one of the lads that was supposed to get the hour on the underwater at Linear. Are we gonna live up to that?
Yeah, we'll do it. I was going to say this to you. So when we do the fishing show next year,
yes,
next year,
yeah,
we'll have to try and do it again. Ideally on the lake one of the lakes we're fishing.
Yeah,
and everyone will come in for a look and.
Yeah, maybe we could section a bit off for you. Maybe down the bottom end of B2 in the out of bounds.
Yeah.
That could work well. Right, oi guys, Peter Carter, yeah, hearing loud and clear. Nice one for telling us the sound's all good. Hopefully everyone's... This is something totally new to fishing, am I right? I don't think anyone's ever done a live sort of podcast on YouTube interactively like this. This is like, it blows my mind, mate.
Groundbreaking technology, Scott.
Groundbreaking technology. I obviously set all this up myself, with the help of my mum. And obviously, a few people that would have watched this show religiously know that Cypography. I've had a lot of involvement in the background. Thank you, Elliott. It's not Elliott. It's more the other people.
Yeah.
Just so you know, before we get started, mate, I have put your code up there, 50% off the first 3 months at Cypography, and I'm going to get it right. It's above Elliott. You can point at it. I always get it.
It's hard, isn't it? You always
mate,
get it wrong.
Every week I'm like this. Yes. That's it. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
It's really hard to get right, isn't it? But anyway.
There,
right.
See? Just
Yeah, it's just there, guys, if anyone wants it. Right, here we go. Oh, that's quite a nice one from Lee Powell here, mate. Respect to Elliott. He gives so much. Who's paid? Have you paid people to put these
yes,
comments
some
in
people,
here?
yeah, some people.
Definitely. Oh yeah, it's called Elliott G2. You've written this yourself. No, Lee Powell's put respect to Elliott. He gives us so much content to watch, but I'd love to watch more of his own fishing. Like back in the day, it was quality footage and an inspiration. You must get that a bit, mate. Because I remember your old used to do a lot of your vlogs, and you'd get right into it.
To be fair, mate, I've literally, so I've filmed my fishing non-stop for 10 years probably. The problem I have is some of the places I've fished in recent years have brought in publicity bans,
Of course.
either during my time on there or afterwards. Some of them I've still got tickets for, so I've got probably 5 or 6 years of intense fishing. It's all filmed, it's all there, and one day I will release it. Either when those bans get lifted or when I decide that I'm willing to lose my ticket. So,
or in other words, or in other words, when you've caught the Bearfield Common, is that what you're trying to say?
Or when I've caught the Bearfield Common, yeah.
Right, one last quick question. One last quick question that I've got here, mate, that no doubt we'll be coming to in a bit, but we may as well get it out there. People are eager to know, when are the next episodes coming out for the underwater?
Yeah, okay, so the 22nd of December is when they're scheduled for. It will be no later than that. So it could be slightly before, I doubt it. So let's stick to the 22nd of December.
Little Christmas present.
Little Christmas present, yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
I've got a couple of questions for you, mate, just to kick us off. Because some people might not know this, and I just thought, don't worry, you look nervous already.
No, it's just red, mate. It's just the red from the heater.
Right, so firstly, how old are you?
How old? I'm 35.
35.
I reckon I look older now.
That makes a bit of sense. So when you were this age, mohawks were in fashion, yeah?
Look at the edgy trousers as well.
Look at that hairdo. But my favourite thing is, if anyone's looking, just cast your eyes to the left there and check out young Jake Wildboar and how unhappy he is on the left.
We're supposed to be friends.
We're supposed to be friends, and Elliott's not looking smug at all.
No.
I was dying to press that button, mate. I've been like, I was just wanting to get it up.
Mate, I tell you what, if you want interesting hairdos, mate, you'll find plenty of me.
Go on, give us a bit of context on that picture, El, before we move on. Go on.
So that was the junior Carp, the BCAC, which still runs today, I think. But I think back in the days when I did it, it wasn't just me. It was like for me, Tom Maker, Tom Dove, Jake Wildboar, lots of people that were mad keen on fishing as young lads, who are obviously still fishing today. But that event and those events back then were kind of more of a big thing. Obviously, we didn't have social media. I think social media and things like this, what we're doing now, with content being, we're never short of content these days. So I feel things get kind of lost, I suppose. Whereas back in the day, you just had the magazines and the likes of the junior carp fishing. They got made more of, and it was a big thing. You know, I don't necessarily think it is these days. I don't think kids of our age then are as into doing that kind of thing now.
Yeah, I think you're right there. It was a big
smaller.
It was a big way of getting yourself out there, wasn't you? Maybe you're right there with the social media thing. I never really thought about it that way. Like, obviously, you only had the magazines, word of mouth, or around the lake, or tackle shops to really get yourself out there. So that was a real good way to stand out, wasn't it? Yeah, good shout. Yeah, to be fair.
And it was good fun, mate. It was like, you know, it was a good event. It was run really well. It probably still is, but I think back then it was. You know, it was quite for young lads back then. It was something I think more people were interested in. I've never been interested in match fishing, or that match style carp fishing. But you know, at those ages back then, as silly as it sounds, you think, wow, this is like the world championships of fishing. You know, it felt like a really big event, something that you wanted to do if you had the chance. And we did. You know, I did it a couple of times. I think the first time it was at Brasenose. I drew the disabled swim. It was terrible. But the second time we did it.
You drew it, or you were given that one?
I drew it, so we had to draw it. Lucky as well, because I remember there was a portaloo behind it, and I had a vindaloo the night before, and I spent the first 2 hours of the match in the toilet.
Right, let's just
But
bring that picture back up again. Is this the Vindaloo Day, or is
nah,
this a different one?
that's Fort Please. So that year I
What?
came second that year.
Yeah, I was going to say you're either really small compared to the guy next to you, or he's definitely come above you.
Yeah.
Right, I've
Mm.
got a couple more quick questions, mate. There's a couple coming here, but I'm going to leave this one for 2 seconds because it's sort of linked to something in a minute. But yeah, so firstly, how long have you been doing Cypography? Do you know?
You know what? It was 8 years last month, and
Yeah,
it was the first year. So it was 8 years, but that was the first year that I haven't realised another year had passed. So
yeah.
normally, on the seventh, sixth, fifth year, I always go, "Oh, it's going to be 6 years in a couple of weeks." This year, I was like,
Right.
"How long? What?" I thought, "Shit, we've gone past the 8 year mark." So yeah,
Yeah.
8 years. The
And
first ever
how
8 years.
long are we into underwaters now? Now I know you obviously still do other things. So I think a
Of
lot of
course, yeah.
people still think it's just solo underwater, whereas
No,
obviously it's
it's
not.
not. No.
What are you, a year is it?
No,
Maybe.
it's longer than that, really. Well, see,
Is it?
okay, so it was last August that we kind of made it clear to everybody that we were going to concentrate on underwater and make it our primary focus. But we'd done them. I think we'd started doing them either the year before that, maybe 2 years before. I think this is our third. Next year will be the fourth year of filming underwater, but it's been intense for the last year and a
Yeah.
bit, year and a half, something like that.
Yeah, and then this question here from Jason Slaymaker. That's a good name, by the way. He's even made that up, but that's a very good name. He's put this sort of links onto it. Does the underwater, from your, obviously, you're in a great position to give this answer, I think. Does the underwater side of things put pressure on you to catch during the filming? Because he's put, when he's vlogging, he feels under pressure to catch more. And, I can relate to that. But yeah, go on with the underwater side of things.
Okay, so I think whether it's underwater or not, and obviously I've made many fishing films in many forms. Um, if the pressure to catch, I don't necessarily think so. You can still make a good film that's enjoyed and is enjoyable to watch, and not catch anything. But if there are no fish in front of the screen, the film is going in the bin. We're not going to use it. So catching a carp, no, I don't necessarily believe you have to catch one. And we've released films in the past where we don't catch. As long as we still see lots of stuff going on, we've
Yeah,
had winter sessions that have been quite quiet in terms of the fishing, but you still notice things. There might be stuff that happens with bird life. There might be stuff that happens with how rigs land or how something else happens. Because you have an underwater camera, and a big part of the reason we do this and I like doing it so much, it isn't so centered around actually watching people hook carp. I've seen a lot of it now. I've done a lot of it now. 9 times out of 10, excuse me, 9 times out of 10, when they catch a carp, it's kind of the same thing happens. They're on the spot, they're feeding. You're generally going to get spat out once or twice, and then you're going to hook one in the end. That's kind of, to put it
yeah,
boringly, I suppose.
yeah,
But it's all the other stuff that happens around that. And whether you actually catch or not, sometimes the best days of underwater are when people don't catch, but there are fish there all the time. They're clearing them out. They're doing this, they're doing that. So catching, no, don't get me wrong. The films are always better if you catch. Any fishing film is better, really, if someone
yeah,
catches one. But the key with underwater is having fish traffic in front of the cameras. And I've
yeah.
done a few shoots in the past where we sit there all week, nothing happens, we see barely anything in front of camera, and those films don't get released because there's nothing to show.
Yeah,
But
I suppose that brings its own pressures as well, doesn't it? Because
yeah,
mate, let's have it right. This is not cheap to do.
no,
I know, probably good thing to point out for that. I mean, I'm sure people can probably picture it. You've got your own time, and all your videographers' time around you, the editing time potentially. I
yeah.
know the kit's not cheap. I mean, we can all relate to that. Even the food, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you've got to, and
Yeah, it does.
obviously
It adds up, mate. It does.
it adds up. Yeah, yeah.
But I
I can
think it's
imagine
one
that
thing.
that kit's quite expensive, isn't it?
It is. I mean, to be honest, mate, the kit I've got isn't actually that expensive. I'll be honest. Like Corda, for example, I've
Hmm.
heard sums I've heard sums of money floating around in terms of what they spent,
Yeah.
and you could buy a house
Yeah. Or
with
two. Up
what
north.
I've heard that they'd spent. And their kit is better than ours. I
Yeah.
don't actually believe it's better to the point where the money makes sense.
Yeah.
Our footage is as good as any footage I've seen.
Yeah.
But they've got things like a zoom. They've got windscreen wipers, whereas I have to swim out, clean the lenses, tilt the cameras manually.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you could spend a hell of a lot of money on the kit. We haven't actually, luckily for us, had to spend huge sums. But I get on really well with the guy that makes them. He makes them for fun, not fun, but it's a passion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he kind of does make it
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. It's
He's
his
an
hobby.
angler who
Yeah.
does this, who uses those cameras for his job. He works for the government,
Yeah.
and he measures fish stocks in rivers abroad. Where,
Oh, okay.
because he's a carp angler, he made underwater cameras to use in his own fishing. And I met him. He loves the fact that we use the cameras and make the films, and he can watch them. So he kind of charges us, I think, what it costs him to make them.
Yeah.
Whereas he could slap 10, 20 grand on them probably if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And someone would still buy them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a nice relationship with him. But yeah, there's all there's money and there's pressure in all this, in any filming really. But with underwater, because they're longer, there's so much more can go wrong with underwater. You need more time, which equals more money, which equals more pressure. More things have to go right. It's the hardest form. There's nothing harder to make than a good underwater film, and that's the reason everyone doesn't do it. But that's the reason I really like doing them, because I've made, I don't know what Cypography are. We're probably 1,300 films deep now. I made films before Cypography. I've made a lot of carp fishing films, and it does get to the point where, for me personally, I go out there and I enjoy it, but I like to do things different. I like to try and push boundaries where we can, and it is hard. But underwater, I find it so enjoyable. It isn't the be all and end all, but it's fun.
Yeah, well, it's like you say there. If you can do it, and actually, in response to what you said about the pressures and that, and you said it's more about the take homes, isn't it? It's not even actually about the catching. It's just the bonus at the end, isn't it? It's all the in betweens, and that's what makes it exciting. That definitely leads me on to a question. But there's a couple coming in here, mate, that I've got to jump to. You haven't got to go into massive detail. Feel free to say yes or no. But someone put, are we gonna be seeing you doing a little bit of fishing with Arthur? We've seen a bit going on your socials. Is that something that you're looking at maybe to film properly one day?
I'm gonna do something
you
with
hope
it,
to? Yeah,
I am. Yeah, I've actually scripted a little video, so I've started writing I've written like a script down. So yeah, I'm gonna do that I think I'm gonna film that in January.
100%, mate. And I remember one of my vlogs I did with my old man, and so many people that jumped out to related to, you know what I mean? Even if it's not, dad and lad, it's, the friend or family that everyone went out with. And I think it's a great thing to do and promote. I think it pulls on a lot of heartstrings as well. So I love all the stuff you put up on your lad when you're on the old socials.
It's going to be like, what I'm planning is, it's going to be centered around both my kids, what it's like having kids. It's not just going to be me taking and fishing and filming it. I want to make something, because I think a lot of carp anglers find themselves in the position that I have found myself in. I'm lucky where I can go fishing regardless. I've got kids, yes, but my job, my life is centered around fishing. I can go. I meet a lot of people that say, I haven't been fishing since I've had my kids, and I understand that. And, I've been guilty of probably neglecting my kids at times, really. So I think I can make quite a nice film that might just resonate with people. And I love taking him. It's just I love it, mate. I do. It is like, it's a real joy taking him.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely something in that, mate. 'Cause it might even give, sometimes you need to see something to think, oh, you know what, I could do that. There's probably loads of people out there that, like you say oh, I haven't been out fishing with me kids, you know what I mean? And it might just inspire them to do it, you know what I mean? Show them how much of a nightmare it is. Right, mate. So, first things first, right? I've got a couple of things to. I tell you what, I'm gonna throw I wonder how many veteran Cypography watchers we've got in the house here, because I've got a few quirky things and it's going to roll under the Scott on the spot, but I'm also going to be putting you on the spot, El. But I don't want your answer straight away. I've got a few clips here from different underwater. Elliot doesn't know what's coming here. I love this. This is a surprise.
Oh.
So I've got a few screenshots from underwater filmings that you have done before with certain people's rigs in position. So I want to see how well you know your underwater films. Bear in mind, would you say that you've had involvement in every single one?
Yeah, mate.
No excuses here then, mate. So, but I'm going to flash it up. Don't answer straight away, because I'm going to roll these out to the audience as well to see if we've got any veterans. So all I need is a name of whose these rigs are on the screen. So, right, Scott on the spot, let's go.
Am I saying this now? Do you want me to say it?
No, I don't want you to say it yet.
Okay,
right. You keep it to yourself to see if you know it, but I'm going to see if the audience know it first. And we're going to give out a prize. We're going to give out a, what we saying, what colour, El? Pink, grey, or the other one? I'm going to give someone a prize. Pink? Oh. Whoever gets it right. We'll give them the pink.
Yeah, go on.
Pink Cypography beanie up for grabs and a month's subscription. If you can tell me whose rig this is. Don't say it, Elliot. Right, so where is the rig there, El? Talk to me, I can hear you.
I know the answer.
Yeah, okay, you know the answers.
So the
rig,
one
with the pink. Yeah,
there's actually two rigs in that shot. There's one bottom left.
Yep.
With a little pink tipper on it, look.
Yep. Okay.
And if you look carefully, I believe there's another one towards the back where the large stone is.
Ah, yes,
right
I see it.
There's a second rig.
Right, guys, get your answers in. So you reckon you know it, El? Yeah.
I thought I was good. I thought when I looked at it first, I was like, I don't know whose that is. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do I win any money or anything if I get these right?
Oh yeah, you can win a beanie if you get it right, mate. If that's all right.
Okay.
Right, here we go. So there's a few answers coming in. Alan Blair, Super Noodle, Alan Blair, Tom Stokes. Right, I've seen a winner here, mate. Go on, El, tell me who it is.
It's James Armstrong.
That is right, and I've seen one straight away, and I've got Catmaster-M80. You have got yourself a beanie and 1 month subscription. I did ask Elliot to give me 1 year subscriptions, but he said I'm only joking. No, so yeah, mate, if you can drop me your details on WhatsApp only, because honestly, mate, this posting is a nightmare, isn't it? You've been through this, haven't you? You've been through this posting. So yeah, send me your address on WhatsApp only. I'm not fishing around for it on Facebook and Instagram and all that. Yeah, send me your address, mate, and I'll get it out to you. I've got a few more of them to come, but we'll do them in a bit. Right, mate, should we get into my underwaters and talk about, because I want to talk about me now, mate. I'm sick about you. No, let's jump. Yeah. No, someone did put a question in about, are you hoping to get some, because you'd said about, you've actually done it before, but someone put the question, it's disappeared here, but it was pinned, about doing some zig underwatering.
Yes, yeah, mate. There's a list of things I want to do. Zigs is very much on it. We did try it, and we had so many fish around them. We just never caught one. It was quite weird. But yeah.
All right, cool. I tell you what, mate, I've got a couple more of these screenshots. I'm going to blast them out there because everyone's banging loads of answers in here. We've got two more to do. Should we do them now? They're quite fun, aren't they? I want to see if you know them. Yeah, let's do them now. Right, Elliot, don't say it out loud or you're going to give the answer away. Right, tell me, guys, whose is this rig? Right, so what's going on here, El? Talk me through it. Where's the rigs at?
Okay, so the rig is towards the back of the spot, right-hand side of screen, just where there's towards like sort of where that sort of sandy. There's a lot of stone, but
is it pink?
Stone, yeah, just as it clogs up a bit.
Ooh, maybe the pink gives it away a little bit more. Whose rig is this? You like this, don't you, El? I can tell.
Yeah, it's good fun.
You like this. Yeah, I've caught you out, haven't I? Caught you out. El needs to do right. Here we go. There's some answers coming in. We'll give it a minute. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna give away another hat, mate. No subscription this time though, but you're gonna get the grey hat. Whoever this wins this.
That's my favourite one. That is good at.
Is it? All right. Well, I'm gonna keep this one then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good at.
You don't wear these. Don't tell lies.
I'm in the thumbnail of this video, mate. I've got that on.
You don't wear them t-shirts either. It's got loads of creases in it, mate. Yeah, I'm joking. Just pulled it out of the cupboard, yeah. Right, you're going to win yourself this second-hand hat. Elliot, whose is that rig, mate?
Mine.
Yay! Yes, right. Let's have a
In
scroll through
Wales.
these. I definitely saw a few Elliott Grays coming here. Someone spelt your surname wrong there, mate. You left an R out.
Mate. Oh.
Right, so first one I've seen is RS Bits with a Z. Mate, get yourself your address into my WhatsApp number below. Don't try ringing it. It's not a hotline number. Do you know people actually try ringing it? It's mental. Should set up like a £3 a minute hotline on it. Shouldn't I? Be like, yes, Scott Lloyd's tip line.
Mate, years ago, when we first started Cypography, we had a landline. I had a guy ring me once. I was on the phone to him for 45 minutes. He was just chatting away. He was sound. And so I'm on the phone to him for 45 minutes, and then he's gone, right, anyway, mate, I better get going. I pulled up at my mate's house. I'll speak to you later. Right? And I was like,
right.
Oh, what did you call for? He was like, just call for a chat. He just jumped in the motor, driving somewhere, rung me, spoke to me. That was it. Done. See
you in a bit, mate.
See you later, yeah. So maybe you'll get a bit of that.
Right. I'm going to whack one more of these up. Right, one more rig check. Rig check? That's a good name, the rig check. Right.
It's a good name, this is.
This is a great game. We could just do this for 2 hours and just give loads of your merch away. Cha-ching!
Yeah, carry on.
Right. Oh, we got a carp on the spot here. This is the last one now, guys. Talk us where the rig is out.
I reckon centre. I can't really see too well. Where is it?
Slightly
bottom,
right.
I think it's bottom right of centre, kind of. You see?
Oh, maggot tippers it's got on it, right?
Yellow with a maggot tipper. Yeah.
Right, you reckon you know who it is now?
Yeah.
No.
Mate, this is mate. Yeah, I know my films inside out.
Oh, I thought I was going to catch you
out. Too easy for this, mate. It's too easy.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to step. Hey, listen, me and you are going to chat about my underwaters, and then I'm going to step up the level, mate. You wait till you see what I've got in store for you in a little bit. Don't think you're getting off in 10 minutes, mate.
No, I'm good.
What's your battery life like on your phone, mate?
Kids will be going wild at the minute. Anyway, it's bedtime, so this is a great time for me to be at the house.
Oh, I've done you a blind, haven't I? Should we do this every Sunday?
Yeah, every day it'd be good.
Every day, yeah. What is your battery saying? Are you plugged in?
Off.
Yeah.
Off.
Yeah. All right, sound. Got a couple hours in him then.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. I've seen loads here. Loads of answers coming in. Someone's put Dave Lane. Someone's put Henry. Judy Manville's put Scott Lloyd. No, it wasn't mine. God, my rig's up loads better than that.
Yeah.
Elliot, who was it, mate?
Tom Stokes.
Oh, I wish he didn't get it right because I was going to double down the prize. That was going to be the thing. I'm going to be like, I'm giving way more of your merch, mate.
You need to do like which stone is this film from? Just real close.
Oh, don't you worry, Al. I've got something coming for you, mate. Don't you worry. You are going to get caught right out. This is why I wanted to do this one for the public because it's a bit easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, Mark Westbury, 21 Don. Tom Stokes, he even put the abbreviation in. Oh yeah, we'll take that.
Have it.
Right, mate. Let's get into my underwaters, mate. So what's gone on so far? You've got, is it 3 episodes out?
3 episodes, yeah. So yours is an exception, really. Like nowadays, I think in the early days we used to kind of use all the footage, really.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything that happened within reason, of course. Whereas these days we cut a lot more of it out. Simply because you don't want to, we film for hours and hours every day. You have to cut it. But these days we cut things down to make the films better. They're faster paced. We show, there's ways of doing it that we've developed over time and we're able to make better films, but more interesting and more, just a less, they don't drag out as much. Whereas yours, even when doing that, we had so much footage and so much good stuff happened that we ended up deciding to having to really was to split the films into 6 individual episodes, which is very rare. Sometimes we might only get 2 at a push.
Yeah.
Whereas yours, I could probably get 8 out of yours if I really wanted to. From the word go, wasn't it? You'll remember as well as I do. It was just crazy from the very first moment.
Yeah, that's it. I can't help but think, because I've seen the other ones that you've done, and I understand carp and behaviours and time of year and weather. It all affects, doesn't it? And I feel like the stars sort of align perfectly, that time of year, the area that we got access to, obviously an incredible angler on the end of it.
Amazing, yeah.
No, but you know what I mean? It was really good, wasn't it? And we were there. literally, one thing that I don't think a lot of people sort of get to see, especially I know you don't do as much of it anymore with regards to how hard it is to get them in position and get them right.
Mm.
And I can only imagine that was harder when you first started, because I'm guessing you've learned from a lot of mistakes that you used to make. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. And it, mate, sometimes we were blessed. If it's under 6 foot, it's often it can be. It makes it much easier.
Yeah.
When you start going to deep water, like what the one we did with Alan a couple of months back, that was 8 meters.
Yeah.
That's deep, mate. And we actually had to get German guys to dive down and adjust the cameras for us, free diving all the way down. 8 meters is deep, mate.
Yeah, that is deep.
Sometimes
you
it
won't catch
takes
me going
hours.
down there.
Sometimes it takes hours to get them in position.
But right, I'm not going to drag on about everything that happened, but obviously I've pulled out a couple of key clips, what I think are massive sort of bits that happened that were what you sort of mentioned earlier, those take homes, you know what I mean? Them bits that happened. So I've got a couple of them. There's a lot of people that might not have seen it so far. So if you haven't, hopefully this is going to be a little bit of a hook, isn't it? Get over there and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to think everyone has. But obviously, we're going to play them again just to remind people what happened, and obviously we'll come back on after and discuss, and we'll take some questions as well, because there's one pinned at the top here that definitely relates to this first clip, and this is a clip of Pinch Belly.
Pinch belly, mate. And he's going for it, he's going for it, he's going for it, he's going for it, he's going for it. He's got it in his mouth. No, he hasn't. He wants it. Yes, yes. He can't get...
What the hell?
Mate, what is he doing? He can't get it.
What's going on with it?
Oh my God, I've never seen anything like that.
What did it do? I mean, that was different level, wasn't it?
It's just weird, and I still to this day don't know what he was doing.
Mate, I'm telling you now. I mean, and the question that related to it is, so someone put here, Scott, did that common remind you of your catch of Hartley's, the way it tried feeding? Now, I think I might have told you this story before, where Hartley's was feeding from really high up, but it was sort of gusting up. It sort of does remind me of that behaviour. It's not exact, because that's totally different, but I feel like he has, honestly, the more I've watched it and the more in detail, and I will play it again, so once we've sort of spoke about it, people might be able to look. You can see it goes to it, it wants it, and then that bit where it just tries to get that bit further, its pecs definitely make a change in its behaviour, because it's getting there, and then he changing it. I can't help but think that, obviously this is getting a bit scientific, but maybe the change in pH or whatever it might have been to make it aware, it definitely reacts to make it not go there, because you also see afterwards that it drops down and takes a puff of what's there, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it fed on the spot before, didn't it?
Yeah.
It ate bait on other occasions.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, 100%. And it might even get caught. You need to watch the rest of the film. But look, let me play it again.
Well, to see a carp in that position, tench feed like that. For anyone who's watched all of our films will have seen this, but tench very often feed vertically. Carp very rarely. In fact, that's probably the only time I've ever seen a carp kind of that upright.
Right,
yeah,
I'm going to play it again, obviously, and people might be able to clock what I was on about. Obviously, watch it's ever so slight, but it happens, and then also the fact that it goes down and takes a mouthful of the ground afterwards. And get your question, get your answer into what you think is going on. Obviously, there is no correct answer; no one's winning anything. But yeah, I'm going to play it again. 1 sec.
Pinch belly, mate. And he's going for it, he's going
it's
for it.
just here now.
He's going for it, he's got it in his
What?
mouth.
It
No,
reverses there.
He's trying to eat it though, surely. Like, what are you doing?
Nah.
Mate, what is he doing? You can't get it.
It's like,
Nah, see, that's a reverse movement, mate. It's like it's gone down and it kicks its pecs in to reverse.
see the
Obviously,
mouth going.
Yeah, but they're always moving their mouths,
Yeah.
aren't they? And it might have started blowing outwards to
Yeah.
sort of help the reverse. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Who knows, mate? Who knows?
I think one
But,
thing that
Go on.
what that carp was doing, I don't know. But one thing that I'm now certain on that I wasn't, what I didn't believe at the start was how aware carp are of our rigs. Like, I was never a believer of the whole. Don't get me wrong. Yes, try and camouflage why would you not try and match your rigs to the lake bed you're fishing over or whatever? But I was always a believer, like I think lots of people are, that as long as you're not doing something ridiculous and your rigs are pretty well hidden, they don't really know what they are. I do not believe that anymore. I've seen so many carp clear people out, avoid rigs, eat everything else. They definitely sense that there is something different. in a rig to a, you know, don't get me wrong, they eat them. We catch loads on them, but things like that, you know, I'm not convinced if that was a freebie, for example, that wouldn't have gone in its mouth. I think it would have.
Yeah.
I think I'm guilty of it, and I think a lot of people probably are, of assuming that they're not as good at sussing it out when they really are.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about underwater, mate. You take away a lot of assumption. A lot of what we do as carp anglers, we assume we're doing it right because we might catch a carp. What I have learned from underwater is you can catch a carp, but technically have been turned over for the 6 hours leading up to that. But because
Yeah.
6 hours flies by when you're fishing, you catch one, you assume everything's good. You've caught a carp within 6 hours, when actually there's a lot of bad stuff has happened in the build up to that, and you don't know that. You just assume you did it right. You caught one, great. It doesn't work like that, and that's probably the, you know, aside from seeing and learning new things, seeing things I didn't expect.
Yeah.
That is the good thing with underwater, is it's like so many anglers think that it's all going well, and to be honest, it rarely is going as well as you picture it.
Yeah, I was just trying to think if there was a bit of a take home from that, or maybe a bit of a take home for you in regards to, is there a way that we can test that situation without introducing rigs? You know, straight off the bat, I'm thinking, can we bait a spot on an underwater camera and just put one bottom bait, pink one, on the bottom or something, and think, you know, let's see if they know the rigs are there, you know, because from personal experience, I know that fish are petrified of the lead clips and anything straight lines. You know, when I fished in the edge, I've seen them come in, it's not been sat right, and I've spooked like anything. And I always put that down to what they see during the fight. You got to imagine, you don't really see the hook, do they? Unless you get it out and go, oh, look, this is what I caught you on. They don't really see that. It's this, the lead clip, you know, in their face. But someone's put here, it looks like it was trying to see... It looks like it was trying to see an unfamiliar movement to that bait, as it suspected something was wrong.
Could well be.
I feel like it's more than, oh, it's just seen something. I think the pectorals and the movements are connected to some way that it's sensed with its barbel. You know what I mean? It's whether it be pH change or awareness. But anyway, interesting one for sure. And it blew our minds, didn't it, at the time, mate?
Yeah.
We were like...
I think it's something else as well. Like carp spend way more time on our spots than we realise. Now, through the many underwater shoots we've done at many lakes with many anglers, you know, we've done it in just about every situation, everywhere. It's actually quite rare, unless you get it completely wrong. It's actually quite rare that you don't see lots of fish. Now, you might not get lots of liners. They might not be jumping in front of you, but fish... It always shocks me, and it always shocks the anglers I'm with, because you only really know they're there when you catch one, unless they're showing over you or you're getting liners. You kind of always assume that they're not feeding on your spots when you're not catching them. I think in your head, most people don't picture, I've had a bite at 10 o'clock in the morning. That means most people think they've just turned up, probably at 9:30. They've fed for a bit, they've caught one. What actually happens a lot of the time is that they're there from first light, feeding for 5 hours before you catch one. So they spend a lot of time in and around our rigs and our lines. And I think the busier the lake is, the more pressure the lake is, the more aware they are of it, you know.
They've probably been feeding all night, and you got a bite at 7 in the morning because yours was the last thing there, you know, basically. Definitely, mate. I mean, I always wonder, you know, is it day ticket fish related? Obviously, we don't have to get into that, but there's definitely it's definitely something to think about, isn't it, mate? It blew my head up at the time. Luckily, the rig didn't go in, because it probably would have just spat out anyway. Because I don't know if anyone has been looking at the scores to Carp and Scott in the bottom corner, because I am losing.
Everyone loses, mate. No one has ever. It's never been an angler has never come out on top when it comes to the sport. So.
Just going back and picking up on that point that you said, you know, we always presume there's nothing on us, you know, if you're not getting liners or fish showing on you, you know. So, and that's right, you know, nothing showed on our spot when we were on underwater. We didn't get any liners. So take away that camera and the fact that obviously it was quite shallow ground, but imagine that wasn't there. We were out in the middle of the pond. we'd have been sat there in a normal situation thinking, oh, they're not here, this is crap.
Yeah.
And, you know, probably wind in, move, or,
Yeah.
you know, looking for another opportunity. That's quite interesting, really. Quite scary, isn't it? But also,
It is, mate. Like,
it's also the best thing, though, isn't it?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, we see the big one, a lot of the lakes we go to, at some point, you know, if we're there for 4 or 5 days, a lot of the time we will see one of, if not the biggest carp at some point. It might be a fleeting visit. It's there, just swims past the camera once, you know.
Yeah.
But it happens a lot, you know. They swim a lot. Obviously, the bigger the lake is, the easier it is to get it totally wrong. But if you know, on a small lake, say a lake of 3 or 4 acres, I would dare to say that pretty much every angler on that lake, and if you're there for 3 days, at some point the big one's probably in your swim. Whether it's you know, they get about a lot.
I'm sort of listening to this. I'm sure probably people are thinking, you know what, especially me, because you know what I'm like, mate. I can be a bit like, I was going to say rat up a drain pipe, but headless chicken. As soon as something's not happening, that's it. I'm looking for another thing. More than often, they're probably on me, but I don't know about it.
Yeah.
Good question here's come in. So, Elliott, as someone who films underwater a lot, do you think Tom Stokes was right to leave his rig out on the quarter underwater shoot after he'd been done so much on it? Elliott's like, don't watch anyone else's underwater. Sorry.
No, yeah. I think it's a hard call, because what underwater filming does is every lake is every feeding situation every day. There's a lot of things that make a big difference in fishing, and from one day to another, one rig can perform well and it can perform bad, as yours kind of did, Scott. There was one in the next batch of films. One of the days it was like anything that went near it gets hooked, and then you literally the following day it was the opposite. So
yeah,
in the case of Tom, you know, he's got a rig there that he has caught so many. The most important thing, I believe, when it comes to rigs is that you have confidence in them, and generally confidence is built by catching carp. Now, you can end up chopping and changing constantly, but when you've got an underwater camera there, it makes it a lot easier to do that. Day to day, you don't have that advantage. So I think if you start to constantly change things when you don't have a screen there, I think it's going to be really hard to make a proper judgment. In Tom's case, I think he could have made an argument for going, okay, I've got the camera here, I'm going to change my rig until it works, because he was getting spat out a lot, and I think that would have been a fair, it's a fair thing to do. But at the same time, he then leaves the lake with something else in the back of his mind, putting doubt on a rig that actually has worked for him for so long, and on another day would work really well, and did in that same shoot. So, and that rig he uses there, he got that from his first underwater film that he did with Corda. He used to use that D rig all the time, didn't he? Came away from that, completely changed his rig, and kind of hasn't gone back from it. But if you look at what Tom has caught on that rig in the last 18 months, it's really hard to. So I see an argument for both, I think.
It is, and who's to say that it wasn't something to do with the way they were feeding? Had it been any rig in the world, even if it had a bloody treble on it, who knows? It might not have worked. So I think what we learn, and I think everyone is going to pick up when these other underwaters of Mariner come out, is that every day and every minute is different, isn't it? And it all depends what the weather is, what the
and every rig gets spat out. Yeah, every rig gets spat out. It does.
Apart from mine.
Apart from you. It's an unavoidable truth.
Another quick question that leads on to it, and I hate that, I don't hate to keep jumping in, because this is what it's about. The Jakey88, he's asked a couple of good questions tonight, and it leads on from that, and it's, it is one that I'd written down here, but Jakey's asked it, so I'm going to cross it off. Do you, and I know these answers, but you can put them in a list or whatever if you want to. Do you take things from the underwaters that change your rigs and your approach? Anything that you've had as your take ons like that? Oh, like wow.
I don't think to this point there's been anything. I haven't changed anything I do up to this point off the back of the underwaters. The only thing that I have kind of a bit of doubt in now. So I would say for the last 5 or 6 years, I've pretty much exclusively, not not every single trip, every single time, but I pretty much exclusively used bright pink hook baits.
Mm-hmm.
And up until a certain point in our underwater filming, using those bright hook baits was the catalyst to them catching. So there, to me, it was like, okay, this is great. You know, it was all good. I'd done them with the pink ones. It completely turned my session. You know, it seemed like there was nothing better than a bright hook bait. In the spring, they pick them out, they have them first. Throughout the rest of the year, when you're fishing over a bit of bait, they pick them out quickly. You know, it just got you quicker bites, more bites. And I'm not saying you have to hook every single carp that breathes near the spot, but because the hook bait is very visible, generally, within a shorter amount of time, they get picked up. Whereas when you fish a bait that matches the rest of what you feed, they can feed on you for a very long time without even looking at your hook bait.
Yeah,
but
I feel like there's a however coming here.
There's
mate.
a big however coming.
Okay.
I did one with James Armstrong in the summer. They were visibly scared of his bright hook baits. They would not feed on his spot whilst there were bright hook baits on the spot. They would eat around them. They were on edge. Then he would reel them in, put brown hook baits on, and they would come in and they'd just feed happily. They would go near them and then they were spooking off. Like, they really didn't like them. And I was sitting there thinking, shit, that's not good. Then I did one in the winter, and they ate every single morsel of my bait over about a 2-hour period. And that's not a long time in carp fishing. You know, I put my rods out at 9 o'clock in the morning. I think my first one I caught was at about 11. But from 9 till 11, so pretty much as soon as I put bait out, these fish were on my spot, and they were smashing it. 10 fish at once.
Sorry, it's not
and
funny.
they ate all of my bait. And once all my bait was gone, they then picked my hook bait up. I got spat out first. Then they picked it up again and I hooked one. Then I cast a single back out there. A fish came in and then I hooked another one. So
It's sorry, go on.
you know, as an angler, you're sitting there thinking, okay, my rod has been out 2 hours. I've just got a quick bite because of my bright hook bait. That's how you would feel in your head. Reality was, they honestly, when I say they ate everything, I mean every grain of hemp, every maggot, every boilie. They ate the lot. And it was only when all the bait was gone that they then just ate my bright pink ones. So
it's so demoralising, isn't it? And can I just say, as someone who is a watcher of underwaters, but also on the other hand been on the receiving end of being under the microscope, you know, when I'm watching them, I'm like, oh, it's easy to judge, isn't it? Why don't he just do this, or why don't he just do that? But when you're there, man, it's just like you're in the situation. Mate, it burns. But I tell you what, I did have a little thought there about what you said about, you know, you always used to use the brights like religion and all that. And I don't know if this is a bit of a get out of jail card for you, but at the same time, do you think there's an element of, you know, pinks becoming more popular over that course of time, you know,
Maybe.
where they were a lot more devastating before, and then now it's, you know, they're not as effective.
What I actually think now, from what I've seen, I actually think that so take spring, for example. I think in the spring, although carp are willing and wanting to eat, I don't think it's as, we all know carp, you know, in the early part of the spring, they're waking up, they're a quick meal, an easy meal, you know, it makes sense to them. I think at certain times of year, in the summer, and particularly autumn, sort of into the early winter, I feel like once they start to feed and they really want to eat bait off of a spot, when they want food, more of it, they're very good at understanding what they're eating, and they don't accidentally eat other things. So whilst they're eating boilies and hemp and maggots and lots of it, they're not accidentally eating twigs and stones. They could do, they don't. And I just think, I don't necessarily think it's that they were, you know, the case where I got cleared out before they picked my pink one up. You know, the minute all the bait was gone, it was the next thing they had. So it wasn't they were scared of it. They just they weren't looking at it and going, we need to eat that. They were looking at the bait that they wanted to eat, and they were eating that. So I think they're very good at deciphering between what they want and what they don't.
It's great, isn't it? I love it. You know,
and I think, I think certain times a year, mate, and I've sensed it. I've had it in my fishing in the past. Yeah. And in the summer, I've had times where I'm using the pinks, and I've never put it down to that. But I think they want bait, and if they want to eat the boilies, give them the boilies.
And that's the beauty of carp fishing, though, isn't it, mate? Let's have it right. As much as we do these underwaters, everyone's maybe trying to find the super bait, the super rig that unlocks carp fishing. Deep down, none of us want it to happen, because as soon as that happens, or if it did happen, that's fishing over, really, for a lot of people. But at the same time, we all know deep down that there isn't a right answer ever gonna happen, because every
No.
day is different, every situation, what carp want, what carp don't want. But right, I'm going to jump on one quick question here, Al, and then we're going to jump on to the atomic swan.
Yeah.
Let's go. I've seen that come up a couple of times here. People said, have you got the swan footage? Have you got the swan footage? Surely that's got to be a take on for you, Al. Don't fish in swan depth of water or
No,
10
mate,
foot.
yeah. I'm an edge
Right.
though, predominantly, it's, yeah.
Right, quick one here now. So this is from James Milburn, 1895. Is that when you were born, James? 1895. You're getting on a bit.
Old.
Elliott. Elliott, is the criticism of underwater films warranted? Is it Is it unnatural, as they say, or do you think it is completely natural situation? Do you understand?
Okay, I think right. So to answer the first point, is the criticism warranted? No, I don't believe it is. I really don't.
No.
I think what happens from our side, and what actually gets my back up is quite a lot, is that obviously because a lot of people don't see our films because they're behind the Cypography subscription. Our films get they underwater. People look at underwater as just one thing. If it's underwater, it's all the same. It isn't. It really isn't. We do ours quite differently, I think, to other people. And every film, every situation, every lake is different. Yes, you have a camera in the water. And yes, by doing that, you are taking away the completely natural situation. Mm-hmm. Now, our cameras are very small. Corders, for example, are not. They're very big. It's as close to a completely natural situation as you're ever going to get. I've never really ever once thought these cameras are scaring them or putting them off. I quite often, because our cameras are small and relatively mobile, as are we won't sit there with blank screens. We will find fish, move the cameras, go out in a boat, drop the camera down onto the spots. The fish will come straight in and feed on them. And I've never once thought the camera's doing us any harm. But can you say it's a completely 100% natural situation? You can't say that because a camera is in the water that wouldn't normally be there. But our carp aren't scared of things, mate. If you went and threw a massive brick in the lake, they're not going to not feed there. They don't know what a camera is. It's just something that is there now that wasn't there before. And I don't believe for a second it changes how they do anything personally.
Carp are definitely not scared of bricks, mate. There used to be a lake round our way where they lived in the pads, and we used to brick them all the time, and they wouldn't come out. But like you say, they're used to seeing push bikes, bloody shopping trolleys, everything. You know what I mean? Everything's down there: cars, motorbikes. Obviously, we're creating an alien situation, but I can't help but think for some reason maybe because underwater is the new way of filming, even though it's been done for years and years. It's obviously getting more active now. Just to put my 2 pence in on it, I think they still get a lot of stick, but the way I see it is like, everyone's been watching fishing film for years and years, educationally, and if this isn't a step in the right direction to educate people on fishing, then I don't know what is. You know what I mean? I would say that was a fair.
I think I think it's one of the main points that I always think, but look back to now. If I wanted to, I could make a film, for example. I could go out with you. And you could stand there. You could stand there and say to someone, "This is my new rig, and this is really good. This rig, and these yellow boilies are the best yellow boilies ever." And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you over the next 48 hours how good they are. You could cast them out, and if you catch 5 carp over the next 48 hours, anyone watching that film is going to go, "Cool, he's caught 5 carp on that rig and that boilie. What he said at the start must be true. That must be a great rig and a great boilie."
I see where you're going with this.
If I made you put that in front of our underwater cameras, you may catch 5, but you might have been spat out 25 times, and you might have been cleared out, and all of a sudden, what you said, whereas when you don't have an underwater camera in there, I can tell you anything I want to tell you. I can tell you something's good or bad, and you don't really have anything to decide whether that's actually true or not. Put it in front of an underwater camera. You want to tell me your rig's good? Well, we'll see. And there is no you
Yeah,
can't
proof's
deny
in the
that.
pudding. Put your money
So
where your mouth is. If
yeah,
Miles Gibson's
like,
watching,
and,
eh?
and we're not making these films. We don't make our films to sell. You know, the likes of Corda, the likes of Fox, whoever's doing underwater. You know, we all know that they're making the films because they want to make the films, they want to entertain people. But they're tackle companies. They also want to show you how good their tackle is. And I dare say, if if Corda, Nash, Fox, whatever made a film and they had an entire week of getting spat out, they probably wouldn't put the film out
Yeah,
because it
I
don't make sense
understand
to
that.
do so.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's
if
great.
we make
Yeah,
a film and that happens, it's going out.
yeah, I'm with you.
So I get it. I get why people say, "Oh, they're just trying to sell me this or they're just trying to sell me that."
Yeah,
We're not. We're just trying to show you what happens,
yeah.
and there's no other way of doing that, or no better way of doing that either than with underwater. So
100%. I like that, mate. And just a quick one. James Milburn, 1895, made a typo. It's 1995.
yeah,
Sorry, James.
it's just got
Right,
to look
mate. We're
younger.
going to move on to this Atomic Swan now. We're going to roll this video for those that have not seen this. This is going to blow your minds. But either way, you're going to watch it. We're going to come back on and talk about it and what our take homes from it. Because I've got a couple of things to add. Don't know what's just happened. Basically, it's just rewinding back now. I saw the swan's head bobbing down like this, and it was dead funny. And I said, oh, note that down, 11:29. He's noting it down, and I looked back down, and it was just a big cloud. Have we got it?
Yeah, look, it's his feet, mate. That's his feet.
Do you think that's his feet?
What? Because it happened from the middle. Yeah, it's the swan's feet.
The swan's feet has done that.
Yeah. 'Cause
From that high
I
up?
see him kicking like that. Watch the bait as it disperses.
Oh, got
Half
a fish on the left-hand spot here.
Look.
That's
Play it
mental.
back again, look.
Yeah, but that's 5 foot there, and that's the swan can't even reach the bottom with a full neck extension. Look, he's a foot off the bottom there,
Watch.
but his feet can create.
So watch this. Look,
yeah,
watch.
yeah.
Goes from the centre of the bait. Watch.
Look
When
at the upbait there, just lifting up.
So when he's
Yeah.
it's his feet.
He's gone like that. He's got that much.
Look, straight out the middle of the bait goes. Boom.
Yeah. Boom. That is a joke. That's incredible.
Right,
coming back in, mate. I mean, that was mind blowing, wasn't it? I mean, obviously you can see there live in action. I mean, and let me throw my 2 pence in from this, because obviously I watched your podcast the other day, and you had quite a big debate on it, didn't you? The SIP podcast, that is. And yeah, little plug there. Head over to Cypography and watch the podcast. No, and it was quite interesting. But one thing that I didn't think that got pointed out. So obviously those that haven't seen that, basically what's happened. The swan's over the top of the spot, and he's pedalled his feet, and it's made that spot just blow up like that and moved. Bear in mind they're whole 16mm buoys, aren't they? Back me up. We're not 12 mils.
No, they were.
They are whole 16 mils. Bear in mind, they're also active as well, so surely that's got to be even a bit heavier than a standard buoy, than them active ones. Little krill plug there. But no, I tell you what, mate, I've just had the wildest thing happen in the chat here. Someone called Peter Carter 3660, he's obviously a legend or minted, he's just thrown $9.99 in the chat. I didn't even know you could do it. I've just made a tenner. Cheers, mate. I appreciate the support, mate. That's absolutely mega. That'll help me with the postage. But, yeah. So basically, so everything has just gone off the spot, because you put the drone up after, didn't you? And it was like, what we saying? It was a good, is it circumference, radius? Like, what is it, 10 feet?
Yeah, I'd say it was a donut. It's a donut shape of bait, wasn't it? It was like a ring of bait that was probably from one side to the other.
Yeah.
I don't know, 8 foot, maybe more.
Yeah. So a guesstimate, I think it moved 16mm buoys at least 3-4 foot off from where it first position was, at least. Now, let's and I can vouch. Well, obviously the swan's head sort of shows you that it's around about 5 foot deep. But I obviously dropped these cameras, so I can hands down vouch that it is. Well, it's definitely more than swan depth. This
I'd call it 5 foot. 5 foot, I'd call it.
Yeah, 5 foot, 100%. And it's moved all them. Now, where I take that is not only, yes, in shallow water that's happening, but obviously we sort of said, and I know you said in the podcast, you think about 10 feet, that's probably still going to move particles and stuff off a spot, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
I think
what
so.
I thought was quite an interesting thought is how many times are we spomming among birds. And I don't just mean swans, because, you know, you've got a swan with a paddle like this, but then you've got coots and ducks that have got paddles like this. And all of a sudden, if you're in, say, 10, 15 feet of water and you're spomming around them, and it almost makes so much sense as well. I mean, how many times, you know, those avid boat users, yourself included, how many times have you sort of paddled your oar towards your H block, throw a bit of bait in, and then all of a sudden it just twizzles off down the lake about two acres down the other end, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, this isn't just about you know, what they can create by moving your bait once it's on the bottom. Imagine the disbursement of you know, the birds operating around us, spamming out and things like that. That's mental.
Even when you hook a carp, mate, like a lot of the carp that people hook, after they hook one, all the bait is gone.
Yeah.
Because they just everything becomes so much lighter underwater, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think, like, you know, I think having seen that, I mean, I remember that very, very vividly, that moment. Myself, me and you know, we've done a lot of fishing. I think both of us have done a lot of edge fishing as well. We've both done a lot of fishing around swans. We're both very aware of the problems a swan can cause. We've both seen them pedal over the spot many times. But I never once thought that they were really capable of anything like that. Even in 5 foot, I didn't think they were really that. You know, I thought they were trying to move bait, maybe not so successfully.
Yeah.
But that was, you know, that's one of the moments that, you know, like, if you watched that from the bank, you'd have just seen the swan would have come in, pedaled his feet, put his head down once and gone, and you wouldn't have thought nothing of it. When the reality was that changed the game, didn't it, in terms of what your spot looked like?
Yeah,
and
I mean, it makes total sense. How many times do you see the swans go, when you know it's, say, 6 foot deep and out of swan depth, they still put their heads down and they're over the top of your spot and putting their heads down. You're like, oh, no, I don't think they can get it. No, it's definitely deeper than them, blah, blah, blah. Well, they don't care, because what they're doing is pedaling their feet and bringing up all the hemp and pellet and all that. Honestly, mate, mind-blowing. And to be fair, El, fair play from me as well, because as far as I'm concerned, that is... especially for me, because I use the bird life a lot and I'd not seen anything like that. So to be able to capture that on camera, absolutely mind-blowing, mate.
There's one comment I see all the time, and it's, underwater's been done. This has been done, and I honestly, it gets my back up so much, because I think, you know, I've spent time with as many carp anglers as anyone. And I spent time at a fishing lake as much as most, you know.
Yeah.
And we still, on almost every underwater trip we do, we generally still, every time, see something. It might be the smallest little thing, but there is always something that you see that you didn't expect. Like,
as far as I'm concerned, mate, and this, like I say, it wraps back to the beauty of carp fishing, really. As far as I'm concerned, if you went out with the same person on the same dates or every week on the same lake in the same swim, using the same tactics, the same bait, blah blah blah, everything the same, no matter what, every film would be different in its own way. It wouldn't be the same. So the fact that you're changing lakes, changing angler, changing rigs, changing bait, there's so many variables. So ignore the haters anyway. It's not for everyone. I get it. You know, carp fishing still to someone like my granddad watching an underwater would be like, what the hell? You know, and you understand it, but I think some people just go out of the way to cause.
Yeah, some people just do it, mate. Yeah, it is what it is. Like,
everyone's entitled to
you know, I know from the bottom of my heart that if you watched every one of our underwater films in a row, you would come away from watching them with a totally different insight. I'm not saying it will change your life. It will change everything you do, but you will be a different angler. In one way or another, even if it's just in your head, you'll be more aware of this, that, and the other than you
100%.
were at the start.
I know that is facts, like. 100%, and I've got another great example of another great take on. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to jump on a few questions, and then I got some social media questions to go at. But this is another great example of something that I definitely took home, and it is the ducks picking up my rigs and what happened. So I'll play the clip first. We'll come back in and we'll chat about it, because this is mind blowing. And get your thoughts in, people. Let us know what you think of this.
I'm pretty sure the lead's still the exact same place, isn't it? That's the lead there, isn't it?
So it's come off.
It's come off
on the bike.
In the water.
It's come off so easy. I didn't even move the lead. He's just let it straight out.
Yeah.
So that's them ducks yesterday.
Yeah, so basically what's happened here is the ducks have picked me up the day before and I've left the rig out.
Birds and you're using lead clips.
How many times we get picked up, El? About 4 or 5 times?
Yeah, quite a lot. I think maybe more. Maybe like 6 or 7. But yeah, not enough. More than once.
Getting picked up by birds, because then you're running into the realms of trouble. So
I don't think I show every one of them. I might do, probably not in the slow-mo replay.
Yeah.
So this will be, I think it was a lot of times, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, this is mad.
Let's have a look. Because obviously this happens and then I get spat out, don't I? No, right, let's come back in. Let's come back in. So yeah, basically I've been picked up the day before about 3, 4, maybe 5 times by ducks. Now obviously we're walking on the underwaters, we see the rigs kick away, everything's sound, and then the next morning, isn't it? We
You got to remember your rig was tangled, wasn't it?
Yes.
Remember?
So it was tangled originally,
and the ducks come in and the ducks fixed it.
Yeah, the ducks fixed it.
Oh, great. This is the thing. Like, when you cast your rod out, you think, brilliant, my rig's gone out lovely. Actually, it was tangled. Then when the ducks dive on you, naturally you'd think, oh, no, they might have done something bad to my rig, when actually they made it better.
Yeah.
Like, so, again, the whole assumptions thing. You think something, like, we
100%.
thought, you'd think that both situations, the opposite was actually true.
Yeah, so it straightened the rig out in the first situation, didn't it? And then picked it up a further 3, 4, 5 times even. We can see it taking the tension of the lead, but it's dropping back down, so we're happy. And then we left it till the next day. And I think the first fish that come in nailed the rig. You see the carp shake its head, burst off the spot. Little did we know, the lead didn't even move at all. It had basically near on ejected the lead, hadn't it? But not quite. So I was basically freelining for them, and the rig did its job, but the lead wasn't there to drive it home. So the take home from that was basically, you know, if you get picked up by birds, don't just automatically think that everything's gone down sitting pretty, which sort of it's always gone against my theory, you know, like, oh, the birds will do you a favour, you know, they'll straighten your rig back out and all that, but
that is kind of true, Scott, though. Like, in terms of straightening it out, like, every time I've seen birds pick rigs up a lot. Almost every time, the rig always lands good, because they pick it up, it's straight, they drop it back, and it does. As long as your rigs are sort of designed to fall straight, they do. But like I say, in that instance, because you got picked up 5 or 6 times, it was enough to loosen the lead clip.
Loosening the tail rubber off. Now, how would that work? You might have seen this, correct me if I'm wrong, or you might know how this works. In a heli situation, if that were to tighten down to the lead in a heli, would it discharge the heli, I'm guessing? Or
no. So
not enough pressure.
If you when they pick a heli up, obviously it goes to the top bead.
Top bead, of course.
What can happen there is, and this is why when I use helis, I'm a heli user. I always recast, not necessarily straight away, because but I would, if I was going to leave a rod out, let's say, and I had no intention of recasting it, I did get picked up by a bird, I'd always redo it, because I fish with my beads. They're tight enough to be safe, but they're not tight, like, and obviously they can dislodge the top bead, and then all of a sudden you're kind of fishing running up the line.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
All right, a quick one just come in here that was quite interesting, mate. Going back to the swan situation, but in a fishing situation now, after watching, after the swan situation, would you now top up bait after the swan has been on your spot? Would that now start to play in your mind? You know what I mean? Looking at what they can do with just one set of foot stomps. You know, if you've got 10 swans on a lake over you, you know, is it going to make you that paranoid?
I think with swans, so what happened in the situation there with that swan is that it didn't eat the bait. So yes, it disturbed the bait, but your bait isn't gone. Your bait is still there. So topping up, for example, if you want to fish over 10 spawns, let's say, that's how much bait you want to put out. You've still got 10 spawns of bait out there. It's just not in the same position as you first thought. One thing I do believe in terms of swans, if they're able to eat the bait, and I've seen this many, many times over the years. Like I say, I've done lots of edge fishing. If you fish a spot where a swan can reach the bottom, it's very rare that they will leave the spot until it's all gone. They're very persistent. So I would always say, if you've got swans dipping down over you, if they're doing that and they don't stop doing it, they're eating bait, because generally what they do is they come over, they have a little go. Yes, they paddle their feet, they dip their head down. But if they're not getting the bait, they swim off, as that one did there. That swan swam away. So it's hard to
Tell you what might be interesting, Al, just to jump in, mate. Next time you're out on your shoots, just be aware, obviously, well, now you're aware of it. Obviously, we do quite well to try and keep the birds off, don't we, in a fishing situation, on the underwaters especially.
Yeah.
Maybe give it tests too, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, you know what, we're going to leave the swans there, see if it happens again. We're in 10-foot water here. You know what I mean? Just as an idea.
Yeah. I'd love to know now, based on that, like what depth that. Like as you said earlier, like if they can move 16 mil boilies in 5 foot, I'm saying they can move maggots in 10. But you know, I don't know. We are assuming, as we do as anglers most of the time. I think logic would suggest that would be true, but it would be interesting. But yeah, like to go back to mate's question, no, I probably wouldn't rebait. If it was a margin spot and I could see, which is generally the types of spots where swans cause me the most, or I have most thing with the swans, I would probably go now and have a look.
Yeah,
quicker.
100%. I'd
be more keen to go and look straight away. Whereas in years gone by, I'd watch them come over the spot. They'd have their little dip, their dive, kick their feet, and then they swim off. And I think, cool, they can't reach the bottom. I wouldn't necessarily walk around and check. Whereas now, I think I'd probably go. I'm going to go around there and see if they,
you know.
disturbed the spot like they probably have.
Yeah. Right. What am I gonna do now? Right. I've got a few questions from the audience here that I took on social media. I promised I'd read a couple of them out. But firstly, I'm gonna jump over to some more Scott on the spot, and this one's for you, El. We're gonna do them real quick, and we're gonna see if you can guess what these are. I'm hoping I'm gonna catch you out. And basically what these are reactions to certain things happening on your underwaters. So basically, I took some screenshots of something happening on your underwater, and I want you to tell me what this reaction is, like what it's to, yeah? Right. So obviously we can talk over these. Let's see if you know. It'd be interesting to know if the audience know, because then you've got some absolutely avid users.
Yeah.
Just say yes or no. Do you know what's happening in this shot? Oh, no, I told you I was going to make it harder for you, mate. You thought you got away with it. You look very happy. Now, what would you be happy about happening here? Can you tell what shoot it's from first?
My initial thoughts was this is potentially from a Tom Stokes one in the winter. But I don't know, my hair's long. I've got long hair there.
Yeah, okay. I knew I'd catch him out here. Yes, I'm buzzing.
Maybe it's Henry Lennon, maybe. No, it ain't him. Didn't wear that.
So, right, okay, I'm going to give you a clue as to what shoot it's on, and let's see if you can guess what you're smiling at. So this is on the Gaz shoot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so what would you be smiling at? Something that happened to Gaz that you thought would make you smile like that?
Was it when he caught was it when he caught the fish with a rod in his hand?
No, it's the pike.
The pike, yeah, okay, yeah. That was on my. That was going to be next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you didn't know. Let's see if anyone. Let's see if anyone knew it. That'd be great if someone knew
that's
that.
Hard, mate, that is.
Yeah, well, you know, like I said I'd give it. Yeah,
that pike was a little idiot. He was that pike.
Yeah, definitely. What did someone say here? I'll come to that in a minute. Right, I've got another one. Let's see if you know this. These are great, mate. I'm glad that I'm catching you out here. Can you tell what is happening here? Do you know what shoot it is?
Yeah, that's my underwater. I did that.
That is your underwater.
Yeah.
And then what do you reckon could be happening there? Why would you be
I reckon it might be something to do with some. Is it anything to do with a tench?
It is your tench. Yeah. You got done by a tench.
Yeah. That was good. I got that one.
Yeah. That's fair play. Good. Right. Last one I'm gonna do. Right, and then I'm gonna jump onto some of these questions, mate, because I don't want to drag this out too long. We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes, hell. And I've got a huge announcement to make in a minute. Right. Yes. Can you tell me why? Do you know what's going on here?
That's when we've just turned up to Luke Stevenson's shoot, having baited it 3 days before. I turned the cameras on, and there were carp eating in front of the cameras.
And it had been ambushed.
There was no bait there, and the carp were feeding on the spot.
Let's get that up again.
and there was there was no bait. I look
Very
really weird
seedy.
there, don't I?
Yeah, it's very
like,
seedy. That's
I
why we
remember
pulled
when
it
I
out.
looked at that, when we was editing, I was thinking, no, I look well weird in that. But yeah, we baited the spot with boilies.
Yeah.
All the boilies were gone, and there were 6 or 7 carp from memory feeding on
Yep.
gravel as if there was bait there. There was no
Yep.
bait there though. They were just
Yep.
eating the floor. Must be from the taste of the boilies.
Yeah.
But that was incredible. That was another amazing thing. I never
Was.
thought that would happen.
Yeah, it's mental.
Carp were feeding on a spot several days after it was baited. There was not a boilie in sight, but the taste and the smell of the boilies was obviously in the gravel by that point, and they were feeding on it aggressively and eating, getting nothing, you know.
Sorry, mate. Someone's put that's a close-up of the urban wanks.
Yeah.
Right. I've got quite a good question here. Now, we have covered a little bit of this, but this one coming from social media. So it's Oliver Bell, and he put, how much time and effort go into the underwaters, which obviously was sort of covered on the setting up and all that he means. But one thing we didn't cover was, do they ever break down?
What, the cameras?
Yeah, so obviously I've seen, I've been first hand in this, but go on.
I'll be honest, nowadays is pretty good. Like these days, it's pretty good. In the past, we have had hours and hours and hours of pain.
Yeah.
I think one time I actually had to. I think one time did I have to go to Holland? I think I had to fly. I think I had to go to Holland to get it fixed in time for a shoot. Yeah. But yeah, mate, they not so much now. They don't like it in the cold. We've learnt that. So actually, in the cold, it all packs up. Nothing likes cold weather.
Yep.
Generally, they're all right, but yes, they break down.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, what's going on here? Right, I'm going to ask a quick one of these, and then I've got a couple of clips to play from our next underwaters, which are due out in December. Yeah, a couple of little sneak previews, exclusives. I love this.
These are exclusives from episode 4. So there's
this is about the point in a live episode where you think, oh, I wish I would have gone to the toilet before we started this. If you need a toilet break, let me know, Al.
That's all right.
I'm only joking, right? Elliott.
You can't see under it, can you?
Oh yeah, like having a wee on the motorway, yeah, when you're driving.
If I go like this all of a sudden.
Yeah. Elliott, do you think there is a difference between sharpened and unsharpened up? Does your underwater footage show any differences in the amount of success to that?
Do I think there's a difference? Yes, I do. I do think there's a difference. Yeah.
Have you got any proof of it? We need to know, El.
No, not in underwater.
So that's a no.
No, not in underwater. No. I think to get real proof of that, you probably have to get something like 50 bites over. I think you'd have to go somewhere. 5-6 bites, it's not enough. I think.
And then again, it's again that situation and day is changing and you know what I mean. So there's never.
You'd have to have 2 rigs side by side, same rig, same spot, like inches apart.
Yeah.
Nothing different but the hook. And you'd have to catch 50. You'd have to have 50 odd bites, I think, to really gain any form of a. Same with beaked and straight points. Yeah. Everyone's got their preference. Personally, I don't think it really makes a jot's worth of difference. But I think sharpened versus unsharpened. I think that's kind of. It's a kind of an easy one to answer. A sharp knife or a blunt knife.
Yeah. I love these lives, mate. I love these lives. You know what? This is why I really love the idea of doing these, getting really into detail on things, because you don't get yourself. You've got some great shows there that you've cut down into 6, and there's still a load of stuff missing, isn't there? That's why the Fisherman's News going live is going to be great. Right, I've got a couple of clips here. So this is quite a good one for a take home for everyone. Now it's something that maybe some people know, maybe some people think they knew, and it's about the texture of your bait. So at first I'll play the clip in a second, but just so you know what you're looking at. Basically, sometimes we'll put dry bait out, won't we? And then sometimes we'll dampen it up, and it's more stodgy. So yeah, you'll see that the first mix is stodgier, and it falls in clumps, and then I wet it up, and it's just a bit of a proof in the pudding, isn't it? I know you said to me quite a lot of times during that, that during the underwater when we were doing it, it's almost like you're just ticking that box of something that you thought was happening is. So I'll play this clip, and then we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing some out of interest with this mix. The last one I would usually have it like quite sloppy, so it doesn't go down in clumps. In my mind, it doesn't go down in clumps. It sort of spreads like it did on the camera. So what I've done with this before I put the water in, it's just tacky. So we'll see if this goes down in a clump sort of like that, or if it still spreads. If it still spreads, it's, you know, it's something learned. So yeah, well, I've got the, you know, the beauty of these underwater cameras, it's learning for me. So yeah, I'm going to try it, see if it still spreads nice, or if it goes down heavy and clumpy. All right, let's get it in now. All right, let's go.
It's worth pointing out that at this stage, Scott had been almost completely cleared out on both areas. Something I have seen happen time and time again when observing the underwater cameras, and I'm convinced that a lot of the carp we catch in our day-to-day fishing are when there's little to no bait left on the spot.
Got a bit of water now. That has gone down clumped like I thought it would. That's it. So that was the one where it was just clumpy. I made this a lot more sort of thin with water.
The addition of water certainly seemed to help in terms of the bait spreading, which in such shallow water was of particular importance, and another nugget of information confirmed for Scott. Whilst he baited, a duck...
So there you go. So go on,
Big
I'll
difference.
let you. Yeah, big difference, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah.
again, one of them things. You know, when you're making your mix and you have that stodgy stuff, obviously in your head you're thinking. Well, some people might not even think about it at all.
I
which
thought
is
it was
why
the
it's
other
great.
way. Personally,
Yeah.
I always thought it was the other way.
Yeah. So yeah,
I've always wet my bait because I want it to fall. I like to if I'm spomming, generally I fish as tight as I can, and I've always wet my bait because I thought if it's drier,
tighter.
it's probably more likely to hang around and spread. Whereas wetting it would make it fall, in turn it's heavier, would make it fall tighter. Whereas when you did that, it's opposite. Yeah.
It's almost about like getting all them bits, because all the bits and pieces, when it's dry, it's clinging it together that bit more, isn't it? Especially when you've compacted it into the spawn. Whereas by moistening it, you know, it obviously makes it spread a little bit more. So I thought that was a great clip to pull out, mate. Fair one. Right, let's jump on. So Jason Slaymaker here. I tell you what, he's in both of these here. I've got him pinned at the top here with a chat here. Right, so on social media, he wrote in saying, so this was one that writ onto your video, El. Do you think colour really matters in murky or clear water? So obviously I know we've touched on colour, but what about in the dirty water? Now I know you won't have much evidence of this because you quite try and go for, you know, the clearest of water to do your underwaters, but what's your views on it?
I think it does, mate. Yeah, I think I one example I have of it. I remember talking to, so when I used to work at Corda, I used to talk to Billy and Jamie a lot. So Billy Flowers, Jamie Londers, match carp anglers. Now, match carp anglers, when it comes to things like what colour is best in what kind of water, what they are able to do is really notice the difference things make, because they're fishing places where they're not, you know, I might go fishing for 3 days a week and catch 4 carp a month if I'm lucky. These guys, if they go fishing for 3 days, they're trying to catch 30, 40 carp. So same with a match angler. The small things make a big, if they make a difference, they become clear much quicker because you've got way more bites to judge it by. And years ago, one of them said to me, I think it was pink. Yeah, it was definitely pink. Pink's really good in murky water. I thought, oh, okay. So I actually fished, I was zig fishing a lake that was always chocolate brown, but the fish were always up on towards the surface. And in the winter, I went there, I did a day session. It was an easy lake. I just used to go there for a bit of fun with a pal. We'd go down there, do 5-6 hours and chip off. I went down there and I always, for years, I fished black and yellow on my zigs. Black zig with a tiny little yellow tipper on it. It's what I used everywhere I went. And I fished there. I knew I was on fish. I couldn't get a bite. And anyway, I thought back to when they'd said that to me. I thought, oh, do you know what I'll do? I'll just try a little pink pop-up. Wanged a pink pop-up out to where I had a black and yellow piece of foam, and it went almost straight away. Cast it back out, the same thing again. I think I caught 2 or 3 on that rod. Then I reeled the other yellow in, and then I started catching them. And I went back there several times, did the same thing. You could argue that it wasn't the colour change. I believe it was. You know, zig fishing is a piece of something suspended in the water. The carp were there, near it, swimming around it. I don't believe they started taking it and eating it because whatever was on the pop-up was different to what was on the foam. You know, I think they were both dipped or scented with the same thing, pretty
Yep.
much. And there was another lake near me years down the line where the same thing happened. You could fish zigs on there all the time and you wouldn't catch them. Again, it was murky, but it was shallow and you could see them. And a friend of mine, after I'd stopped fishing that lake, he went there. I'd said to him to try the pinks, and he caught several carp from there using them. So I think it definitely makes a difference. Carp have got much better eyesight than I think most people give them credit for.
Yep.
I think they're naturally kind of supposed to live in murky water, and they're built to live in murky water. The crystal clear gravel pits that we find them in is not really the kind of place that carp originate from and are built to live in. So yes, I think colour makes a difference. You could argue it could make more of a difference in murky water.
In murky water,
yeah.
So in short, yes. No, fair play. Right, I've got a couple more clips to play from this episode. Then there's a couple of questions. I'll tell you what, Jason Slaymaker, for that question, I'm gonna chuck him a month SIP subscription. Is that all right, Al? No.
Yeah, of course it is. Give as many away as you want.
Jason Slaymaker. All right, really? Everybody in the chat?
Yeah.
Right. Right. I've got a clip here about this. You'll remember this geezer. This was Clayhead. Can you remember Sneaky Clayhead? This is nothing against Stokies, by the way, because we call them Clayheads around here. I don't know if you know that. Yeah. So there was a carp that we nicknamed Clayhead, and you'll understand why after this clip. And he was just being totally different to anything else we'd seen on the spot, wasn't he?
He was sneaky.
Yeah, let's play this clip and you can see his behaviour. Now, you've already seen, no doubt, people that have watched the underwaters would have noticed, the carp's behaviours, and some of the clips that we've played tonight. You can see they're going past willy-nilly, but this carp was just different.
He's a very sneaky.
He's a lurker, isn't he?
He's a lurker, mate. Looks like a pike when he just sit there.
Yeah, don't move.
Look at him there, back left.
Like, sat there eyeballing everything. He's on a good line if he carries on, and he's a chewer as well. Do we know what carp this is? Common. Oh,
he's just static, wasn't he, mate? He just
Clayhead common.
Yeah,
he's being
I'm
very.
You're not going to catch him. He's too light.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's playing in it. Oh, is he?
And I didn't catch him, so. But yeah, I just thought that was quite a good clip because we've all, some people don't believe in this whole, carp have got different personalities and stuff like that, and I think we're well within our rights to say that we've got sort of, let's call it scientific evidence to say that they definitely have.
Yeah.
Another great example that I haven't pulled out here that I probably should have was the geezer, the fish that kept coming in and feeding on the zebra mussels on the bar. There was a big load of bait there on camera. He'd come over the bait and be like, nah, and go straight for the zebra mussels. I mean,
you know what I actually think now? I never considered this at the time. I think he might have been eating caddis.
Caddis? Yeah, true.
So that spot, right, that area, you might not have seen this at the time.
Right,
when we edited those films, speeding the footage up, the spot is alive with caddis. You don't see them because they move so slowly. But he was either eating, whatever he was eating, it wasn't bait. It was either caddis or zebras, one of the two.
That's it, yeah. So if you're ever fishing around any naturals, whether it be caddis or zebras, just fish over them, not at the side of them, because they're going to go and take the Angel Delight instead of the salad over here, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You do get the odd carp that is just, you look at the free and you think, we're never catching him.
It makes total sense, doesn't it? I mean, how many times have we seen a fish that never gets caught that just slips up on a zig or something? You know what I mean? It's that natural fly, and it's just like, no wonder it's not been getting caught.
I remember Gaz hooked one that was, every time it come on the spot, we were like, we're never going to hook that. It was just a bit like that one just there. He hooked it in the end. It just looked, the way it behaved was so different. He hooked it come off the bottom slowly, sort of like started shook its head and then got rid of the rig and done the off. Yeah. So he did actually hook it in the end, and then it just done him.
Knew what it was doing, clearly. How many times is that happening without us knowing? Okay, so Peter Carter has said, what do you think of the glow-in-the-dark baits? Have you had any experience with them? You know what? That's probably a good shout for running in the night, El. I bet you could leave the cameras on just to see the actual hook bait or something.
I've used them like in the dark bait. So
same here.
Again, okay. I don't have an opinion on them. Haven't used them enough. I don't know. I don't think carp can't see in the dark. I think carp can see in the dark. So I
Definitely.
don't know necessarily if that makes any difference, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Be
I,
interesting though, mate. Maybe
but
something
yeah,
to think about. Couple of shout outs, thank you. Here we go. People telling us how many we got online. Nice one. What we got? 192 watching still out after an hour and a half, mate. That's good going, that is, mate. I tell you no, I'd be down to one person watching on if it was on Instagram now, and that'd be me man. Yeah, big shout out to everyone. Now I've got one last clip to play, El.
yeah.
Ooh, don't worry, it's nothing homemade or anything. No, it's the big common, mate. So obviously, let's play it, and then we'll come back on and we'll talk about it. Now, this is obviously quite a known fish to A1 Pits where we were, and I'll play it anyway, and we'll come back in.
Oh, that's the common. Yeah, that's it.
That's the common we want.
definitely it. It's definitely it. Come on. Anywhere near that stone there.
Yep.
Ooh. We're catching that today. That is getting caught, mate. 100%. Honestly.
I really hope you're right. I hope that snail goes.
That is getting caught. Right. We need to make some sort of forfeit. If I don't catch that fish...
If I don't catch that fish, what? Now, we're not going to confirm or deny if we do catch that fish, but that was definitely, certainly become one of the targets, didn't it, mate? That was we had a few different run-ins with it, didn't we? Like I say, I don't want to give too much away, Al. I know you've given me sort of exclusive access to this footage. I didn't want to, sort of ruin it for people. And I definitely wanted to tease them because I think there's loads to be learnt from it. And it's me as well. So obviously it's a great film. And El's there as well, Psychic. So, but yeah, he definitely become one on the hit list, didn't he?
Yeah.
And we had a very, very, I'm sure you won't mind me saying, there was a very, very crazy, another strange encounter with that particular carp. Another thing that is going to be like almost the atomic swan type thing again, but with the carp included as well. So it's incredible. So yeah, definitely tune in. When they coming out, El?
Yeah, at the end of 22nd of December.
Yeah.
We'll drop all. I'll probably drop 3 episodes. We'll put 3 episodes out on the 22nd, so you can watch them all at once over Christmas, that kind of thing.
Happy days. Right, I am going to... I've got a couple of questions just to ask here at the end. They sort of run into both of us, mate. I'm going to go into too much detail, but guys, don't think that I'm bringing this to an end because I'm going to chuck Elliott out and I'm going to tell you all about the TFN Awards. So stick around for that. You don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to tell you. El, is it worth waiting for?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you give us anyway, El?
I've
got you down for some.
I need to talk to you about that after.
Right. Okay. All right. We'll chat about it after. Right. So, someone's put here, Lee Powell. Thank you very much, mate. He's put absolute phenomenal live episode. Thanks, gents. You can expect more of these as well. I'll go into that in a little bit. We'll get rid of Elle after these couple of questions, and I'll tell you all about it because I've got some great people penciled in for some of these lives talking about all sorts of things. This is just a start. And we've just been able to get interactive with it. bringing in these clips and that is great, mate. It's mega. It's another level. Right, so first thing... yeah, so first one here. Now, this is probably more aimed at me, actually, so I'm making it about me now. So, Amelia Rose, I know Amelia Rose, she's a legend. She sent to me on social media, if there was anything that I could change in my underwater, what would it be and why? Now, my answer is a bit of a generic one, really, because I wouldn't change anything as far as I'm concerned. Now, obviously, I wish I hooked absolutely everything that came onto the spot and all that, but at the same time, you don't want to, do you? As much as we think we want to, we actually don't, because it's the same as blanking, isn't it? If it was all about catching carp and blanking was the worst thing in the world, we'd blank once and then never go again. It's almost that fine line of where you're being teased and you want to get it right next time and all that. So I don't think I would change anything. I definitely wish. I'm hoping that Elliott, based on what I'm going to say here, is going to have me back on. Because I think if we do go again, mate, I think it'd be great. We got a nod coming in there. Is that a yes?
Yeah, you're my favourite person.
Yeah, let's put a vote in here now. If we want to see Scott back in again, just have me back here because I think I want to go in. as I sort of said at the start of the episode, it's like I'm quite an inquisitive angler, as we all are. But you know, there was certain things that I didn't quite get to try. You know, the super noodles, PVA bags. I saw a few people reaching out for stuff like that. So there's a load of things that I want to try. Maybe them glow in the dark updates in the dark or something. That'd be nice. Do you think there was anything I should have changed, El? That hinge?
No, because no,
We
I
did
don't.
that out of intuition, though, didn't we?
Every angler has to see you want to see what you use in action.
Wait,
Whether it
there's a
goes
vote
right.
been put in the chat.
So
Sorry,
no,
Al, I've got to jump
no.
in.
I don't
Yeah,
think you should. Be,
I shouldn't
no,
have. No.
not
Yeah.
really.
So should we get Scott back on SIP? Yes or no? It's in the chat. Vote for me, guys. Right. So this is a
That's
multi.
right.
Elliott's in there voting no, because you know that this is another thing that people don't get to see out. How much of it goes into this editing? Because I know how much you've been at it, because we've been chatting a lot during it going on. How many days? How many hours? How much going back and to? And I know it's just you. I know Craig puts. I know it's not just you. Sorry, I know Craig puts a lot of effort in as well. So talk us through that, mate. That's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it takes a lot, mate. Like it does. I now do the editing because I'm on the shoot, so it's quicker for me because I know them inside out. But if I was to give, if we were to give someone else them, it's a long time, and you could spend more, like days and days and days and days and days and days and days. I get red eyes, basically. My eyes bleed from my screen.
Oh, is that the excuse? Okay. Right, last question, mate, and then I'm going to ship you off unless you've got anything that you want to ask or say. So this came from Tom Anglin, and I'm going to throw him a Cypography beanie, whichever one I've got left, and a month subscription. So it goes out to both of us. If you could be the inventor of one piece of tackle, obviously existing this is, what would it be and why? I'm going to throw it. Do you want me? I'll give you a second to think about it, El, because I've sort of written mine down.
I know mine already.
Oh, go on then. Let's have it.
Wide gape hook.
The wide gape hook. Yeah, you wish it, because that's not got. Is it got a patent on it? It hasn't, has it?
Nah. So I just think it's the king of carp hooks.
It's the cool thing to have your name to. It's not about the money side of it.
Just
so
like,
mine's very similar to that, and mine's the lead clip, because that did it originate from Nashi? Nashi made the lead clip, didn't he? You know, when
that's
obviously
proper innovation, isn't it? Like I'd probably say something like the Spom, the heli state, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
As in like when you really had to think about and actually design a product. But I think just a single product that I'd like to go, I drew that hook, like all those carp.
Yeah. I love how we've both jumped back to our sort of what we were, you know, even though we've known the Spom to come out in our era, if you like, we've gone back to them sort of nostalgic things, and I think the leg clip's a massive standout, you know. That must have been,
mate. It's one of like the lead clip was a defining.
It was about before
moment.
we were about, you know what I mean?
But
we understand how technical that is, really. But anyway, mate, I'm gonna chuck you out. Is there anything you want to say, or
I had one question. You asked me the other day if there's any questions I had for you, and the one thing I thought was how different was the reality of your shoot? So from the first day to the last day, how different was what happened to what you expected to happen?
Well, I think it all it comes across probably in the film in my cockiness, because day one I was like, what did I say? What was the same? Wanna suck?
Wanna suck. But did you actually think that, or did you say it? Because I don't think you necessarily thought. I don't think any angler ever thinks they're gonna get. We all think we don't get done that much. Everyone does. But yeah, I wondered how. Like, did you leave there? Because you still caught 10 carp. Did you catch 10? Did you catch 10?
I tell you one thing. So I turned up obviously quite. I was really intrigued. I wanted, you know, I really wanted to do this, didn't I? I mean, not saying that I rang you and badgered you. You wanted me to do it as much, but I wasn't like standoffish. I'm like 100%, mate. I'm game. Let's go. But I definitely think I didn't think I was going to get done as much coming up into day 3, but without getting too into it, like you've just sort of said there, you know, I catch a lot of carp by the end of it, and I think anyone leaving with 10 carp from a 4-night session, was it, would be like, I've had it off there. But the weird feeling was I was driving home thinking, I've been had off there. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
without the underwaters, I wouldn't know that. So that was one of the biggest things. But one thing I will say is I've come away from that. Yeah, I've watched my rigs get done and spat out, but they got spat out on one day. The next day, you know, they couldn't get spat
They
out at
don't.
all, you know, and that's just the beauty of carp fishing. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably, I'm sure you won't mind me saying, because people are going to tune in and watch these films anyway. It's sort of one of the big standout lines within the film that I think, you know, sort of hit home that. And I know I've mentioned it already in this podcast, whatever this is, live stream.
Live stream.
Live stream.
Mm.
You know, the beauty of carp fishing that every day is different and there is no right answer, and that will never ever change. That is infinite. So I'm glad that I went on it to get that answer. The answer that there is no answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's peace of mind, isn't it?
Peace of mind. And what I was coming to there was I've changed literally zero in my own angling based on what I saw. And I think that, you know, there was probably some things that would make me want to change. But I think if you start dialing around in that area, then touching on what you said about confidence being the most important thing no matter what. Yes, if there was one rig that you kept putting on the cameras out and it was like bang, 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 this literally one a suck and you're catching one, I think people would start swaying towards it. But as it stands, we're still yet to see it, mate.
Yeah, I think it's that's what happened. I know that Stokesy and Dan, when they did one, that Norton Nailer, that rig, they caught pretty much everything that they put that in front of during that trip. But then Dan went abroad with it and got absolutely turned over. The same
There
rig.
you go.
So, you know, I think
Different day, different lake,
different day, different
everything.
lake.
So yeah, buzzing. You've got 100% votes for me coming back on, mate. So let's pencil.
What? How many votes? One vote so far.
Yeah, it's me mum. But yeah, no, 100%, mate. So we're gonna have to get me back on, I think, mate. And I think I just want to go straight in doing other things. I think we've already sort of spoken, maybe hinted around doing it somewhere crayfish-esque, because people want to see that.
I really want to do that. So
yeah, we want to get that in, mate. But right, I reckon that about wraps it up for me and you, Al. Anything? Is that it? I don't know how to get you out of here, mate. So you're gonna have to do that your end.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
Big love, Al. Loads coming in here for you, mate.
I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Yeah, catch you in a bit, mate. Right, don't go anywhere, guys.
Pressing the red button.
Bye, guys. Bye, mate. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, hopefully Elliott has done one and it doesn't cut me off. I have got a huge announcement. Thanks everyone for tuning in. That's been an hour and 40 minutes. I cannot believe that has gone on for that long, but I'm hoping you're bye Elliott, Jakey. Yes, hopefully there's still a few people in the chat ready for this announcement, because it obviously everyone that knows what the Fisherman's News to me means to me by now. Yeah, everyone's saying bye Elliott. So yeah, and obviously it's always been about, you know, the everyday angler, all you guys, you know, not having anywhere to, you know, we used to have the magazines, blah, blah, blah. You all know what it means to me by now. And what I have done is, obviously, we're taking these episodes live, doing just what we've done with Elliott. I've got Aussie owners penciled in to potentially come on and do some stuff. I've also got... well, you guys know that I've got quite an extensive reach into the angling world, and hopefully we can get them in talking about all sorts in more detail, whether that be a capture, you know, a film that's dropped, a product that's come out. That's the way we're going to report on that sort of news from now on. But anyway, I've got to talk to you guys about the TFN Awards. So the TFN Awards is my spin on the Carp Angler of the Year Awards. Now you guys would have seen the Angling Times running your standard Carp Angler of the Year Award, and that is generally to the more known carp anglers out there in the industry. But what I have decided to do is make it all about you guys. So everyone who's been sending in their catch reports this year so far, and everyone that is still sending them in up until the launch date of this. So it's already launched. Everyone, basically the way it's going to work is everybody who has already come first in the adult and the junior section is automatically entered into the end of the year awards. That's in the junior section and in the adult section. We've still got a couple more shows to come where you guys will be winning the prizes as well, so don't think that you've missed out on this. And I've got a piece of paper here that's going to tell you exactly how you're going to win it. exactly what you're going to win and how you're going to win it. But this isn't just for the guys that have come first in the catch reports. This is also for the scenic. So we're going to do the adult and junior catch of the year awards. We're going to do the scenic of the year award. We're going to do the fisherman's fail of the year award and the special mention of the year award. And they are as follows. So this is adults and juniors are going to win. This is a big old bit of kit. So everyone that's come first is automatically going to be in the running to win this. Adults and juniors, you've got Nash R3 alarms and receivers, butts and bobbins, Corda Kais and green rods, Cypography 1 year subscription, Fox Duralite all season sleep system. So that's obviously one for the junior, one for the adult. Fish with Carl Carp bundle, Swim Bookers £100 worth of fishing, £200 worth of sticky baits, £220 worth of DNA baits, 48 hours fishing at Linear Fisheries, Amber Vistas from Fortis, Terminal Tackle Bundle from Atonic, Sonic are sending in reels or a shelter or something like that. Thinking Anglers have done £200 worth of luggage bundle, and there's going to be more as well. I'm waiting for confirmations. That's going to be for, people saying they love this. Yes, it's all about, for me, the Carp Angler of the Year is you guys out there. So everyone that's entered so far and come first is automatically in the running, but check out how you are going to win it. How's it going to be judged? How's Scott come up with this to be judged? So listen, you guys are all going to be sent to a panel of judges. So everyone, I'm going to collate all the winners of all the episodes. This goes right back to the pre-recorded episodes as well. Don't think I forgot about you guys. And it's going to go to a panel of judges to vote for their favourite adult and favourite junior. So everyone, this is why I'm hoping you are going to get a buzz of it, because this panel is going to see your catch reports and cast their vote. It will be announced on the 21st of December, by the way, just so everyone knows. And I am going to personally deliver them prizes to everyone who wins on the 22nd. Hopefully you don't live down the other end of the country or in Europe. But no, hopefully it's not too far away. But I will personally deliver them. And guess who the panel of judges are? So, without further ado, we have got Alan Blair from Nash. We've got the podcast team from Corda. We've got Carl Smith. We've got Alfie from Swim Booker. Lee Moser Morris from DNA. We've got Chris Blunt from Linear Fisheries. Harry Cheriton from Fox. Elliott Gray from Typography. Darren Golder from Fortis. Lee England from Atomic. Ozzy Onez from Sticky Baits. Luke Beasley from Sonic. And Lewis Reed from Thinking Anglers. So it's going to be them guys casting their votes on who they think is going to be their winner, and I'm going to reveal it live on the 21st, and it will all be done via video as well, so you're going to get to see yourselves win. So keep getting your catch reports sent in. That is the adult and the junior. Let's see what people are thinking about that. But also, there's more prizes to come. That is a huge setup for both adult and junior. And also, Scenic of the Year, you're going to win a big bundle of Heron's artwork, Subsurface magazine and bundle as well. And guess who the judges are for their favourite Scenic of the Year? We've got Dan Wildball, who's done all the Sticky Baits filming, videography, etc. We've got Jake the Heron, who is also obviously an artist, stroke photographer, videographer. And Mr. Gaz Fairham. So they are going to pick their favourite Scenic of the Year. So I feel like, you know, these are going to be judged by what I feel are really great anglers for the catch reports, really great videographers, stroke photographers for the Scenics. The fails are going to be voted for by yourselves in the show on the 21st. And then lastly, and most importantly, the special mention of the year is going to be voted for by myself in the show. And the special mention of the year, for those that don't know what it is, special mentions are people who are out generally doing incredible things, using fishing as their way of doing it, and I reach out to them to give them their recognition, and I'm going to pick the winner of that one, and the winner of that one will get 24 hours fishing with myself on a lake of their choice on the Swim Booker platform. So that's another thing that's been donated from Swim Booker. I hope that you guys understood that. There'll be a lot more coming on social media over the next couple of weeks. Let's see what people are saying. When are you doing Scenics and Catch Reports now in the lives? Is it another midweek one? So, right, yeah, basically the way that's going to work, so the next one of them will probably be next Sunday. They can jump in ad hoc and let you know on social media as and when different things are happening, because I've got so much news coming in now. I want to do it live just like this. Like I've got Ozzy's Reflections coming out on Sticky Baits as part 2. I want to get, as soon as that's dropped, I want to get Ozzy in the studio to talk about it. So yeah, this was a bit of a random one. That's not fair. I only send scenics because I blank. Well, if you've won the Scenic of the Week shot, you'll be up and running and you'll get a great prize. But hopefully you guys are up for it. You know, I like the idea of giving back to you guys. Yes, that's class. Love it. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Good judges. Fantastic episode, Scott. Big up. Thank you very much, guys. I've been chewing on for near on 2 hours here. I'm sorry that I've kept you on this long. Elliott doesn't have rabbit on. It wasn't me. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Fantastic episode. Yeah, thank you guys, honestly. And whoever that guy was that chucked me a tenner, I don't know how to get that tenner out of there. Are you going to post it me? I don't know how it works, but I really appreciate that anyway. And that is all I have got time for that night. Please spread the word about the Fisherman's News Awards. I just think that's a really good and fair way of doing it. Obviously, big love to all the guys at the companies that have donated these prizes. You know, I'm not going out. Obviously, I'm going out of my way to make this happen, but them guys are all getting involved and supporting this because they see it as a great community-based event where it's all about every angler out there, not just about the big deals, myself and Elliott and all. You know what I mean? It's about everyone fishing. We fish as one. So I love the idea of what the Fisherman's News is and what it represents. So right, guys, I'm gonna shut up. I don't know how to stop this, but we'll have a go. I'll see you next time. Hopefully there's a load of love coming in. Who's smiling here? Right, I'm a celebs on in 10. Right, I gotta go. Bye, guys.